field, base hit. Nice, easy swing by Isbell on an 0-2 pitch. And it's 2-1, Royals trailing.
I had my whole post-game show mapped out, right? Going into the ninth inning, Royals up by 2. I'm out here thinking, okay, how do I incorporate a hey this evening? How do I mix it up a little bit? Don't worry, James McArthur solved that issue for me. He made sure that Royals fans did not get to utter those words on Tuesday evening, as he allowed 3 runs to the Milwaukee Brewers in the top of the ninth inning, ensuring that the Royals would go down tonight 6-5. And yeah, this was a roller coaster of a game. We're gonna talk all about it. Welcome to the Royals recap. My name is Jacob Milham. I am one half of the Royals Rundown podcast. If this is your first time listening, thanks for being here. But the best place that you can go after this is royalsreview.com. They have the game thread. They have a instant recap after the game, and just a lot of great work going on over there. New stuff every single day. You couldn't ask for much more than what is on royalsreview.com. Folks, this was a Milwaukee Brewers game for a good portion of the game. All right, 2 solo shots allowed by Seth Lugo had the Royals down 2-0 until the bottom of the 5th, when MJ Melendez tripled, and then Vinny got a double. And the Royals go up 3-2. We're looking pretty good. Salvador Perez scores Vinny from first. It's looking even better. It's great. All right, then the Brewers start inching back. On top of the 7th, they get another one. But don't worry. They got out Gary Sanchez, and that looked like it was going to be all she wrote. Plus, Vinny Pasquantino getting a good ground ball to center field, scoring Bobby Witt Jr., put the Royals up 5-3. And your John Schreiber, first off, another great night. I love his energy. I know it wasn't perfect. He was not shut out, but he didn't allow a run. He got 2 strikeouts, and he did his job. Both him and Angel Zerpa did their job out of the bullpen, leaving it up to James McArthur. And his recent performances have made us forget about the fact that he had multiple blown saves heading into tonight's game. Like, okay, he's a new guy. He's a new man. He has put these things behind him, and he is the Royals closer. He even got the closer entrance featurette. A great, just terrible freaking timing to finally get to see the mash of Welcome to the Jungle and White Horse with all the lighting effects, a good crowd there in Kauffman Stadium. It looks electric. It looks great, just for James McArthur to come trotting out of the bullpen with that. Okay, and this wasn't a fluky inning from him. I will say that. Walked a batter, didn't get a strikeout, allowed 3 total hits. The guy just could not locate a pitch tonight. 30 pitches, 19 of them for strikes. But that's because the Brewers recognized what was going on. They were swinging, they were aggressive at the plate because the breaking balls just were hanging up a little bit too high. It just wasn't looking like the best night from James McArthur. We talk about it on the podcast. 1/3 of the time, you're either going to have all your stuff, some of your stuff, or none of your stuff. And tonight, it looked like James McArthur had none of his stuff. And all it took was a hanging curveball in the bottom third of the strike zone, and Willy Adames makes sure that goes to the left field bullpen, the visiting bullpen, scoring William Contreras and Gary Sanchez. And that is all she wrote for the Kansas City Royals tonight. Boys in Blue currently sit at 21-16. They had a chance to go for a series sweep tonight, but unfortunately that will not be happening. And in fact, this rubber match on Wednesday should be fairly interesting. hoping that the Royals can get a series win in front of their home crowd. That's always a good thing, especially, the Royals just have not been nearly as dominant, and there have been plenty of issues rearing their heads as of late. We get Brady Bump Day tomorrow. That's okay. Going up against Joe Ross. I am. You can't win them all in a baseball game. But it was so reminiscent of a Cal Eldred coordinated save. James McArthur, he was trying to dance on the outer edge of the zone. He wasn't challenging anyone. It's not what you want to see from your reliever. Sure, we could see it from a wily old veteran like Will Smith. He doesn't have the stuff to live inside the zone 70% of the time anymore. That's not who he is. James McArthur, that is somewhat who he has been this season. All right, he has not been afraid to go after the opposing batters. He is usually in well control of his arsenal, and he just wasn't tonight. And it is frustrating that we're not sitting here talking about James McArthur gave up a few hits, he walked a batter, but the Royals win. I wish we were having that conversation right now. And I know this is how the Brewers were feeling yesterday. All right, the Royals had a comeback victory over them last night. Now tonight, it is Kansas City's turn to think about what went wrong and what could have been done differently. Unfortunately, the issue lies in an area that has been a relative strength for this team in 2024. Okay, ever since they moved on from Will Smith in the closing role, things have looked good for primarily James McArthur, who is now 7 for 10 in his save opportunities with 3 blown saves now. I get it. Batting 700 is great. It's great, and I would love to see every batter in the Royals lineup bat 700. I don't want to see the closer bat 700. That's not what a closer is. Okay? A true closer, the ones that you give entrances to, the ones that you design full experiences for fans to enjoy, they don't allow 3 earned runs in the 9th inning. For all those folks out there that were on the fence about if you can call James McArthur a closer or not, well, time to get off that fence. Because he ain't a closer right now. Not anymore. Might be the guy that comes out in the 9th. But he's shown us multiple times this season, in this young season, that he cannot close out a game with 90% certainty. Blown saves are going to happen. They will, even to the best of them. But now I'm going to be nervous again watching James McArthur come trotting out of that bullpen. And I know he's beating himself up right now about it. I hope the locker room is helping him. I don't want to say consoling him, but if he is beating himself up about it, I hope that locker room leadership is reminding him, we have another game tomorrow. Shower up, rest up, let's go back out there Wednesday afternoon and let's do it again. And let's do it a little bit better. Let's get to 22-16. Let's get another series win. All of that remains in the balance. But Royals fans need to see how this team responds to this roller coaster game. After trailing for so long, And then the bats come back and bring the boys in blue to the front with a commanding lead. A 3-run lead, as we have seen, can evaporate very quickly. But it is a lead nonetheless. I'm just hoping that they go out there and they win on Wednesday. This is going to be very, very weird recap if they don't. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, we will hear from Royals manager Matt Quatraro, who was very brief in his post-game answers. Stay tuned to find out more.
Yeah, that one stings. I mean, we've done that to other people as well, and it's no fun when you're on that side of it. But, Contreras put up a really good at-bat. You think about all the things in that game tonight that were just literally the game of inches, whether that ball's fair or not, the ball off Renfroe's glove. There were plenty of other examples of things that just some went our way, some went theirs. But Willie got a breaking ball and he got it up in the air and hit it well.
What's the message to James after?
He's going to keep getting opportunities to pitch in high leverage. We're not backing away from it. He's good. Sometimes you get beat.
What do you think of Seth Lugo's performance out there tonight?
Yeah, he pitched great. I mean, the 2 home runs back to back, and other than that, he didn't yield anything. I mean, he did exactly what he's done all year.
Taking around assuming that's before.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of confidence in Zerpa too. I thought that was a good spot. If they're going to hit there, that's fine. They hit 2 ground balls that found the hole, but it was certainly at no fault. The only thing you could say is you got to get ahead of the guy. Other than that, 2 ground balls to the right side.
Stands out about the plate appearances you had in the 5th there.
Yeah, they're quality. These guys, we see it almost every night where at some point they click and they just go to work. And, I couldn't be more proud of the way that they battled, and then expanding later on, and we'll take our chances with Schreiber and MacArthur every day of the week.
Obviously, seeing a pitcher a 3rd time through, you can get more experience. Anything else that you're seeing from your guys that allowed them advantage the 3rd time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it's different every night, but it's probably just the familiarity of it and also understanding like, hey, it's time to go.
They need to bounce back.
Yeah, he said he was their best player yesterday. Made 6 outs for him, but I mean, again, we believe in our players. These guys are going to go out. They're going to have bad nights. They're going to have good nights. We're going to win. We're going to lose, but we trust these guys. They're going to get opportunities to go back out there the next day.
How much was MJ's triple because he came out of the box so hard? It looked like he was halfway to first.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even later in the game, he popped up and he was going hard out of the box. I mean, the effort level's been tremendous.
What is the biggest difference you think?
Well, I mean, we're putting ourselves in those situations. That's first and foremost. You're going to get more opportunities. We have guys that got a lot of at-bats last year and put some stuff under their belt, like as far as learning what it felt like in the box in those moments, what it feels like, what their job is and probably just turning up their focus a little bit.
All right, that just about does it for tonight's Royals recap. I do have to get to your Spotify Q&A responses. So for all you new listeners out there, if you listen to us on Spotify, we have polls and Q&As that you can respond to. And for those Q&As, I read your responses on air in the following episode. And the Royals recap is no different. After each one, I ask, what did you think about this game? Got a few responses. Luke57 says, great to see the team come back from a deficit. Reagan's shoved again. And even better to see the less trusted guys in the bullpen still pitch well. I will say that. Angel Serpa it's taken a while for me to come around to him. Because I still want to see that starter. I still want to see that starter that we saw back in 21? Well, if he's a bullpen arm, that is okay. He's looking pretty solid. Looked solid tonight. Ginger620 says, last year we lose that game for sure. Now there's no bullpen that's safe from the Royals scratching out a few runs. Good stuff. And yeah, while the Royals did a good amount of their damage against starter Colin Ray, the Royals did do some damage on the Brewers bullpen that, like Kansas City's, has been relatively strong in 2024. And lastly, my podcast co-host Jeremy Greco, otherwise known as Hakayas, says, Jacob, how did you mispronounce Wilson? Listen, it is a strange spelling of Wilson. And it's just a bit at this point that I can't say correct names. Maybe I should be calling Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Wheat Jr. Wheat Thins, whipped cream. Maybe that's what I should do from now on. All right, y'all. Like I said, we are moving on to Wednesday very quickly. First pitch tomorrow is at 1:10 Kauffman Standard Time. Brady Singer takes the bump. You can follow along to tomorrow's game on Bally Sports Kansas City, MLB TV, or you can listen on 610 Sports Radio. That's always a good experience. The trio of Denny Matthews, Jake Eisenberg, and Steve Stewart make it an enjoyable experience for all you radio listeners out there. All right, I'm going to get on out of here and get to bed. Once again, my name is Jacob Milham. Please follow us on social media. The links are down in the podcast description below. And until next time, go Royals.